Hey, what is fucking good, you little lads? So, I'm just gonna go through a super quick trade recap for the day. And basically, I mean, it's nothing from another world, it's nothing exceptional. This was just a trade based more on my discretion. But before that, let me show you. Here is a P&L ski, the accounts that I have. I currently have two funded accounts and one Evolve. I mean, I've been on a losing streak since the last week. I mean, it just got cut off today by this win, but last week was a little bit tough, not gonna lie to you. And mainly because, you know, they were not bad trades, bad conditions were not as good as I was expecting. So I ended up taking like three losses in a row last week. So it set me like like in a negative week. But considering the past weeks before that one, I mean I'm still in profit, and this trade, I mean, just showed that I'm still in profit as well. So I'm just gonna go through this trade recap super quick. Basically, what I was looking for the AM session was a bearish continuation. And why though? You're gonna say, look at how weak this candle's closed here. All of these candles before. I mean, we were, stopping from momentum. We traded back into this 4 hour, but this is not in the premium, I believe, if I mark this correctly. Yes. So this was not in the premium. So I was just expecting price to hit this fair value up here, trade lower all the way down to Asia, and continue, with the higher trend. But it did not happen that way. Still, I was bearish for the day. So after that, I just zoom in into the hourly, and as you can see, we created these low resistance liquidity, which is honestly one of the main things that I wanted to see getting taken today, just because it's low resistance liquidity in a higher time frame that it's like a liquidity magnet. So I scale again on the 50 minute, and what I could see at the open was this 15 minute all the way up here. So the AM open created this high, I mean this fair value gap on the 50 minutes. So I was expecting price to open high, low, close, and take London, Asia, and the 4 hour. So what ended up happening, let me go through this shit, was, yeah, price open lower, took this intermediate low, which is in the 50 minute, and let me, what the fuck? Okay, let me show you this. So I marked this low not quite as a low, but just as a possible rejection area. I mean, I was not that confident that price was gonna be trading back into this sell side liquidity and then start displacing higher. This is an intermediate low because it's in a 50 minute. This is not inversed. So what I was expecting is price first opening higher, then trading lower all the way to London, and after London, maybe we can have the continuation to the upside. But I was mainly focusing on Asia and these 4 hour for value gap. So what ended up happening was, as I told you, price opened lower, then traded back into this 50 minute, and what we had here was actually not the 50 minute, but we ended up taking intermediate high. But there was an SMT, huge SMT by the way, with ES on that high. So after NQ not respecting that SMT, my discretion came in, and I said, okay, if we're not gonna respect this intermediate high, and if we're not gonna respect the SMT, I'm expecting price to what? To trade lower, at least to what? EQ of this range, which is sorry, which is more or less where my TP was. And at the end of the day, I ended up this shit running all the way down to this fair value gap on the 1 minute. Should have left this run all the way to the RB. The RB, the rejection block that we created on the 5 minute here. What the fuck is happening with my charts? There you go. There's an RB on the 5 minute. Tapping this. But honestly, I was just as skeptical about this trade because it was like a risky trade. And you're gonna say, hey, why did you enter here, not entering, in the 3 minute or something like that? Well, because there was a 3 minute here. So I ended up taking this trade all the way up here because there was a 30 second here that was super fucking clean. We created a chop here in the 30 second. We took intermediate high, and after that, we created an IFVG also in line with a CISD. Let me show it to you because I have it here on the funded accounts on the trades that I ended up taking. So as you can see, there was a tiny 30-second here, and we created this displacement to the downside. So I was just so confident about this trade that I ended up taking this short, and as you can see, it ended up playing out pretty fairly. But the thing that I just simply didn't like, or didn't like a lot about this, was the fact that that price didn't trade lower today. So as you can see, we just tapped the RB on the 5 minute and we start displacing higher all the way to this BSL. And honestly, since it was not my bias, um, I just kept the trade as it is, as this that I was looking for. This is placement lower, and I mean, at the end of the day, this is a W for me. I was risking 140 on every single evil. I've taken two payouts from one account, and I'm right now, trading that account on drawdown, because taking payouts and risking 150 per trade, I think it's really fair. The eval that I have is actually double size, so I was risking about 300. I ended up making 173 and 177 on the fundeds and 346 on the eval. So it sets me into a break-even point on my accounts. So this is pretty much the trade recap for the day. And definitely, if you have any doubts, any questions, I mean, you can let me know in the comments. But I'm expecting this to be just as clear as possible. Of course, I'm not going through, my trades and my recaps on a, junior level trader. I'm explaining this with very complex concepts. So if you don't know the concepts, I'm gonna let you a link towards my YouTube videos about, ICT concepts, so you can have pretty much the idea of what I'm talking about. So anyways, that's pretty much for today's trade recap. Today is 6th of June of 2026. I was gonna say 2025. I don't know what year I'm even living in, but that's pretty much it, guys. So see you tomorrow with another trade recap if I trade tomorrow.